And man, I'm looking forward to this one. I think this is a sleeper fight. I mean, anytime Gene Silva's fighting, the fans are going to be pumped. So I guess it's hard to say it's a sleeper, but I think people are sleeping on Melsik Bagdasaryan. I think he's going to make this fight very interesting. I feel like this has the potential to be an all-out war. Definitely fight of the night contender here. Both these fighters are known for their brutal striking styles, and they always produce great fights. Melsik, he's been around for a while, but really struggled with activity. He got on the UFC fans' radar almost 5 years ago at this point. He was on the Contender Series in September of 2020. He actually beat Dennis Bazooka, who has gone on and done fairly well in the UFC now, and he got the win there and then debuted in 2021. He had two fights in 21 and went 2-0. Then took 2022 off, had two more fights in 2023 where he went 1-1, and then took off 2024 as well. So 2 years he's been in the UFC where he hasn't fought at all, and he is coming off a win, but all that momentum is gone. And he's clearly the B side of this matchup. But the good thing for Melsik is, though, he's getting a huge name right now, someone that's on a lot of fans' radars, and I would say he's one of the most popular unranked fighters in the entire UFC. So if Melsik goes in there and beats him, that 4-1 record with Gene Silva on his resume looks really good. But Gene Silva, he's going back down to 145 after a quick detour to lightweight. He had three fights in the UFC last year, two at 45s, one at 55. His fight with Drew Dober was just a short notice opportunity, so that's why he stepped up and wait for it. And he smashed it, man. I mean, he battered and eventually stopped Drew Dober in that fight. And he's finished all three of his UFC fights so far. He's won 11 in a row. And man, I think this is a harder fight that people are giving him credit for. Shout out to him for accepting this fight versus a really credentialed striker like Bagdasaryan without much of a name. And I think this fight's going to be absolutely sick. Gene Silva's a huge favorite just because of recent trends, but Melsik is a hell of a striker. If this fight's a stand-up battle, it's going to be a chess match. Melsik is a former world champion kickboxer. He's very powerful. He's going to be looking to walk down Silva, use feints to draw out Silva, and then use that to open up with his hands. And I think going to the body, the legs is going to be pivotal for Bagdasaryan. Gene Silva, super fast, evasive, creative counterfighter with elite power. Extremely accurate. Even though he doesn't throw a ton of volume, he makes it count. His counter check hooks are nasty. Good counter cross, counter uppercut. On the inside, his elbows are there, and he even will pull fighters in his standing elbows. I think leg kicks for Gene Silva are going to have to be a big part of the game plan here. And I've seen Bagdasaryan get his legs chopped in kickboxing fights, so he needs to be ready to check or counter the leg kicks if they do come. He likes to sit down, throw heavy punches, so the leg kicks are a smart thing to attack versus him. With Silva's ability to switch stance, I also think that the calf kicks will be there for him. With Melsik being southpaw, it doesn't really matter. One thing Gene Silva is a master at that Melsik can't really allow is winning the optics battle, man. It's similar to Marab in a way where Silva uses a lot of antics, gamemanship to show he's in control. And Melsik has to be all business, not buddy-buddy with Silva like Dober was. And I think not allow him to use all those crazy antics. But the clinch is going to be a super danger zone for both because Melsik is an animal there. He throws sick knees, elbows, but Gene Silva has the same weapons and probably even more power. So that's going to be awesome to see. And Melsik Bagdasaryan's wrestling is suspect. He's taken time off again, so we could see it improved, but he got taken down more than once. First Tucker Lutz, he got held down. And Gene Silva, he hasn't even sniffed an attempt of a takedown in his UFC fights, but if there's ever a time to pull some wrestling grappling out the bag, I think it's going to be here. Melsik's one loss, he did get submitted. It was a little unlucky, though. I mean, he slipped, and Josh Caldwell just kind of jumped on his back and choked him out immediately. I actually thought Melsik was winning the fight prior to that, but it shows that Silva, he might be able to capitalize on a moment similar if he can snatch the neck with the front choke or get the back. He might be able to get a submission real quick. If this fight's all stand-up, it's going to be close than the line indicates. I feel like if Silva can't get the knockout, it could get dicey because I could see Melsik maybe winning the first two rounds. Man, I mean, I think Melsik's going to win round one here at a decent clip. After round one, I'm a little worried he slows down, though. And you combine that with his age, the injury layoff, and just his inactivity. Um, Silva probably finds a late finish. But, man, I think Melsik is a live underdog, and he could show up here and be a parlay buster for some people. But with the physicality advantage, just the trends that these two guys are at, the momentum, I'll say Silva gets a third round TKO.